Hi, I'm Bran, and I love When Calls the Heart.
Hi, I'm Jax, and I like When Calls the Heart.
I'm Dan, and I despise When Calls the Heart, and this is the Deck the Hallmark
Podcast.
What the heck, everybody?
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
You know, we're
Are you okay?
We're like a month into this new theme song, and I still get a kick out of Trace and Rig singing. And
Trace and Rig do sing one line in there.
throws me for a loop
It's
every time.
unbelievable.
Guys, how are ya?
Great. How about you?
So good.
That intro kind of sucked. I got to be honest.
I was taking a
We didn't
sip
back you up enough.
I was mid-swig.
We've got 4 of these left before the Christmas break where we don't do them. So, let's do the people as solid, and let's finish strong.
Let's
Do you
them
want
a
to lead us
solid.
in again? Should
No,
we do it
no,
again?
no,
Was
no,
that
no.
okay,
Just
Dan?
one
I'm
part. No,
sorry.
we'll make it. We'll make
The
it.
Hallmark Podcast.
See, that made it better for sure. You yelled
Guys, we got a lot of emails over the last few weeks. Just people asking, is everything good with Ted? Like, kind of what's going on? Like, should we be worried? Should we call out the cavalry?
the cavalry.
Still not convinced.
It is not up for debate.
It's
Cavalry and cavalry are different.
Everything's up for debate. That's why Debate Club exists.
Man,
Why would Debate Club exist if things weren't up for debate?
you're true. You're true.
Thank you.
You're true.
Thank you. Thank you. How are things going with Ted?
So, yeah, Ted flew me first class.
Now,
this
really
time.
quickly, for those of you that maybe
Oh, yeah.
you haven't joined for a while.
Sorry.
Jax has been coming down every single week. We got a donation from a guy named Ted who said he will fund Jax travel to and from New York to Greenville once a week to record in person.
That's right.
Only to use the money for that. And so
That's right. That's all we can do.
just in case people were out
Could
of the
we
loop.
Zoom her in? Yes. But
But
no.
why would we
Why
do
would
that?
we
I
when
wouldn't
Ted-
and Ted's offering. And the thing is, here's what's making me feel a little weird is the fact that depending, I think, on how good of a time we have the week prior, that's how he decides if I fly private, first class, Spirit, coach, basic
like that.
economy,
Spirit.
comfort
And I
plus.
just feel like this is not
Yeah.
a great
And so you got
situation.
first class?
It was first class this time, yeah.
pal.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it's nothing untoward, but I think like if the conversation is good,
Okay.
he feels
What
like
did you
That's
guys
a lot of
talk
pressure
about?
on you.
What did you guys talk about
I
last
pretty much
week?
just I'm working on some stand-up routines, and I was floating some of my jokes past him.
Okay.
And I think he thought I was funny.
Got a clip.
Yeah, we do.
So I mean, we'll see how it goes tonight, and then I'll let you know when I fly next week.
Hey, Jax. Yeah, it's me, Ted. You got any jokes for me? Maybe you've been working on some material. I'd like to hear some jokes now. Jax?
Do you want to hear a joke, Ted?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, so 3 guys went before the judge.
Okay.
Okay. And the judge said to the first kid, "Why are you here? What did you do? What was your offense?" And he said, "I threw peanuts in the lake."
Oh,
There's more. There's more, Ted.
That's funny. In the lake?
In the lake.
Oh my gosh, you'll get first class next week, girl.
I didn't even finish the joke.
No,
I'll tell you the
say
rest
no
next
more.
week.
Say no more. Wow, that date
Why
sounded.
did we record this?
We record all the dates. I don't know. Trace
We
was
recorded all the dates.
Trace. She's working on a.
We can't
She's
call
working
them
on
dates.
a project.
I'm betrothed.
That's
I'm
right.
betrothed.
That's right. Yeah,
They're
yeah,
not.
yeah.
Sorry.
They're
They're-
friend
they're-
dates.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
She's working
They're-
on a project.
Yeah.
Trace said. So.
Yeah.
Really like that joke though.
That's right.
And I didn't even get to finish it, but he was still impressed.
But that's nice.
We'll
because
get
you
to
can,
it eventually.
You can
Yeah,
use
yeah.
the second part this week and
Yeah.
see if
Yeah,
that will
yeah.
get
See
you.
how if
See
it
how that
lands. Yeah.
Rick, how are you, buddy?
Oh, I'm great. How about you?
I'm doing well, buddy. Anything? You guys do anything for Oktoberfest?
Of course we are. We do it every year for
Yeah,
Oktoberfest.
October's
The
coming
same
right
thing.
up.
Yeah. Big lottery's coming up.
Big lotteries?
Yeah, the Burnt Ends Lottery.
What does that mean, burnt ends lottery?
What do you mean? What does it mean? What do you think it means?
There's
You
a
always have a lot of
lottery.
questions.
There's a lottery, and if you win, you get all the burnt ends.
Yeah, you got it. See, it's pretty
Great.
straightforward. All the leftover cigarette butts go to the winner of the
I
burnt
thought you,
ends
like, meant,
lottery.
like, burnt
It's actually
ends.
like you lost. You know that book, The Lottery, where one person's got to die? It's
Yeah.
like that kind of lottery. Because we don't throw away any cigarette butts at Fitzy's. But if
You don't throw away any cigarette
so
butts
all
at
the-
Fitzy's.
You heard me.
Yeah.
Yep, there's little signs on the table and chalk says butts out. Right. You put them there. And then at the end, we have the Burnt Ends Lottery.
At the end of the
month.
Oh, each month.
Oktoberfest. And you call the lottery.
Wait, so do you save them from?
It's for the year.
Got it.
Yeah. They're stacking up by then.
Yeah.
It's getting pretty rank.
How many Burnt Ends do you think this is?
I don't count them.
Can you give it? I'm not asking if you counted. I'm just like, can you give me like an estimate?
No, I cannot.
Okay, fair.
There you go. So everybody's receipt
number. Why enter this lottery?
Everybody's receipt number. So once you buy something at Fitzy's, you're in.
Wow.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Do you tell them?
You have entered into the Burnt Ends lottery.
Okay. Do they have to be there to claim the prize?
No, they'll find you. They got a full force they send out.
That's full force.
Full force they send out for the Burnt Ends lottery.
All right.
Come on down and join us.
No.
Last time we played human darts, you had fun.
I did have fun. But I don't want a bunch of Burnt Ends.
Well, you might not win.
With my luck.
It's a lottery.
It's a lottery. Have you ever won?
Never.
Do you take your name out?
I draw the numbers.
Yeah, I thought you might. What's that, Brian? Where do you draw the numbers from?
My pants.
There it is. It's time for What Calls the Heart Season 8, Episode 7, which is called...
Fakes Not Allowed.
Fakes Not Allowed. Great. Jax?
I don't like forgeries.
Ooh, those are all good. This is before my very eyes.
Oh, we were so close.
We thought we had it.
You check again. Is it not fakes not
Yeah,
allowed?
it's something about forgeries, I think.
It's got to be.
It's Fakes Not Allowed. And it went a little something like this. Everyone's hanging out in the saloon waiting to find out the latest on Ned, as you do. Elizabeth is talking to Lucas, and Lucas grabs her hand, and she pulls it away. Not public yet, sicko. Carson and Faith are trying to figure out what's going on with Ned, and Joseph decides that he's going to hold a prayer vigil. Nathan signs the paperwork to finalize the adoption in the saloon, as you do. He tells Elizabeth that they're going to celebrate the day after tomorrow and says maybe you should come. Christopher and Gowan come into the saloon, and Gowan offers to help pay for the room at the saloon, and he says it's okay, his stepdad's taking care of it. My real dad. He doesn't say that. But. No. Then he inquires about where Sarah is, in which Rosemary is not pleased by this line of questioning, and she just kind of says, shove off. Elizabeth goes to check on Ned and finds out that they're going to have to operate to see if they have to remove the gallbladder. Likely story, Carson. Ned calls Florence over and says that when he's back on his feet, I want to marry her. And she's like, okay. We'll do that. The next day, Elizabeth discovers Florence working at the Mercantile, and she hasn't gotten any sleep, and so she calls Rosemary in to help out, and so that Florence can get some sleep. Jesse shows up at the cafe. Clara is not as upset to see him as she thought that she'd be, despite still being mad that he lost every penny that they had. Nathan and Allie are talking about her adoption ceremony thing, and he notices that he didn't want Elizabeth to come, and she's like...
She didn't want Elizabeth to come.
Right, what did I say?
He.
Sorry, she. And he's like,
right.
I think that we should. And he's okay, whatever. So they're going to invite her, basically, and they get into a conversation about why I don't understand why she likes Lucas, this whole thing, but we're going to invite her. Yay. Lee can't find his pocket watch, so he goes to see if Bill has it, and naturally that leads to Lee trying on the red coat. Because that's the thing. If you walk into his office, you have to try it on. Lee asks Lucas if he's seen it, and he's like, no, but I think that Christopher might be behind it because he's new in town, and everybody who's new in town is probably bad. And so they go to talk to him, and Christopher's rude, and after Lucas leaves, we see that he does indeed have the watch, and so what can you do about that? Nathan tells Elizabeth outside the infirmary. Caesar talks to her, gives her a blanket after she says that she's not cold, and they talk about the adoption and whatnot. It's not really that pleasant of a conversation. The next day, Lucas found a stolen car outside of town. Then he gives Elizabeth a gift to bring to the adoption celebration ceremony thing, despite not being invited himself. Jesse shows up to bring Clara flowers, but he doesn't like that she's making her dress shorter. And he tells her.
How dare she?
She tells him that she can wear her dress however she wants. Ned wakes up and makes sure that he actually did propose to Florence, and she says yes, and they touch faces, as much face touching as possible without actually kissing. And good news, everybody. Lucas and Elizabeth do hold hands. So, okay. At the courthouse, Elizabeth shows up. It turns out that it's just basically her. No one else is Allie invited. And she walks up to Bill with Nathan in one hand, Elizabeth in the other hand, and says, "It's time to get married now." And they're all like, "What?" And that, my friends, was When Calls the Heart, Season 8, Episode 7, Before My Very Eyes. We did it, everybody.
We did it.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back, and we'll talk about this stuff a little bit more. Here on Take the Hallmark.
Take the Hallmark.
Giddy up. We're back. We're talking about When Calls the Heart, Season 8, Episode 7. It's almost Season 8, Episode 8. That's going to be a big night.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
How do you know, Brand?
I'm just saying it's going to be a bit like 8,
it's
8 and 8. That's the sign of
it's the
Angel's
golden,
Wings.
It's the golden
It's the golden episode
of
the
the
series. Jax, let's start with you. Let's start with a hot take. What did you think about this episode?
Well, I thought the wrong guy was wearing the surge, but when I got over that, Lee looks fine. It does actually,
fit
as
him.
we point out, it does fit him better than we saw it fit my man Bill. Yeah, I thought this episode was a lot of fun. I was gobsmacked that Florence and Ned became engaged when he was under duress. But honestly, that's probably how my fiance proposed to me, frankly. So it was relatable during like the height of COVID. So, why not? Take it where you can get it. I thought this one was a lot of fun. And at the end, even though I've seen this episode before, audible gasp when Allie does it dirty and puts Elizabeth and Nathan in an impossible and awkward position. I'm here for it.
I feel like this season, and you can credit the Tank on this. I'll give the Tank the credit.
Tinker's going to tank.
Tank's going to tank. This season has contained more, like, for this show, gasp-worthy moments than every other season before it combined.
Sure.
Like, there's a lot of, like, moments that of plot shifts and plot twists that you're like, man, this doesn't feel very...
I don't think there's any accusing this season of, like, not doing stuff.
Or playing it safe.
Yeah, which was the problem the last couple seasons, where it just
Especially
felt like
7.
nothing was
Holy
happening.
cow.
So, this episode's swell. It's a swell time. I continue to be quite intrigued by Christopher. I think
Can I ask a quick question? When you were saying he was new in town, were you doing the John Mulaney bit about that? I'm new in town. Well,
but I
you
should.
were.
in
You
town.
should.
I'm going to push him.
Yeah.
Push him.
But it just feels like every time there's someone
Save,
new in town, aside from Joseph, they all immediately assume that they're bad, which I just think is a great bit. I'm very intrigued by Christopher. I think he's like a fun character, and here's the thing: we didn't need more characters. There's already a lot of characters in When Calls the Heart. But
Rachel's thirsty. She's got to get with someone.
I am quite intrigued by Christopher. I think Rachel's a good character. I like that when that's happening. And so I honestly couldn't believe it. This was a bold move by Allie. You guys know I'm an Allie stan. And so I like the gumption by Allie in this episode.
Still defending her.
You get a point for Brand for just giving it the old college try. Who can blame her? And so listen, she just wants Elizabeth to be her mom, and sometimes
who could blame her?
Sometimes you just got to put all the chips in the Burton's lottery and hope for the best. And that's
you don't
what
understand how that works at all.
But that's exactly what happened here. And so kudos to her for trying it. Yeah, episode overall a good time.
So I think what we found is that after season 7 felt like we were lost in like a sea of just Jesse and Clara and Lee and Rosemary's storylines that were of
Jesse was a friend.
Meaningless proportions. I'm talking like nothing important matters. And so putting those two couples as a little bit more of ancillary characters and making some other plot lines happen make the show a lot more palatable. And that's what we're getting here, is a show that at least doesn't feel like time is standing still while you're watching it. I really wish we had been covering this in real time, because I could have every week just had a little sidebar chat with Team Nathan to say, guys, it's over. It's done. Why are you...
Do you think there's any way that us knowing the ending is clouding?
I can't imagine it. She literally has given every verbal and nonverbal cue imaginable that she is not interested in Nathan and is interested in Lucas.
Jax, did it feel very clear to you while you were watching it?
So I was actually just going to be really honest and full disclosure. I knew that when I started watching the season, they had told us.
Oh.
And actually, so I didn't get to watch.
That's dirty. Why did they do that?
Well, I think they thought they were being...
What do you mean they told you? You were on another podcast?
No,
I'm not.
Honestly, my life didn't begin until I was on Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Of course.
Wait. They told you before starting the season?
Yeah. I was going to say I hope I don't get fired, but I no longer work for them.
Yeah.
Did you sign an NDA?
No. And it wasn't, it wasn't even, it actually, the news was delivered in a way that felt very unceremonious. And it wasn't like, it was under the intention of like, don't tell anyone with the expectation, but no. So I unfortunately.
That's awful. I hate that for you.
So it was hard for me to watch and also pretend.
Yeah, I'd say.
That made it impossible.
I knew it was Lucas, yeah.
Man.
So you're telling me that if I go back and I listen...
I don't know, actually. I didn't ask.
So you're telling me that if I go back and I listen to the WCTH recap of season 8 of When Calls the Heart, it's all going to be a facade?
Well...
Wait a minute.
No, guys.
You guys weren't acting,
No,
were you?
No, listen. It's all genuine. But it's...
Don't tell me don't ruin this for me, Jax.
Guys,
Don't tell me you were
I had to like try and clear my mind as much as possible. And I've been acting since I was little, so I tried to really be like, okay, if you didn't know, how would you be reacting? But yeah, I just had to be honest there.
I can't imagine a world. I would be doing this. You know me, Bran. If we didn't know the ending, I would be doing this.
I know. I'm just saying, like, it's impossible to know how you would truly respond. Because we're not that's never going to be a reality for us because we do know.
And I wouldn't have pulled back the curtain, but I felt like I had to be honest because
I just is there a world where if we didn't know, would our fandom of Nathan cloud our judgment and be like, maybe there's a chance, I don't know. I do think it's pretty clear, but I don't know how much of that is swayed by our knowledge of what happens in 12.
You can say whatever you want about the When Calls the Hallmark brass or the people writing the show, and you can say, I don't know how they were manipulating people in interviews. I have no idea. What I can tell you is if at this point she ends up with Nathan, it's manipulation. At this point, with all that she's done to be like, no, I don't want your blanket. Don't put it on me. I definitely don't want to be there and be standing there with you for the, I don't know what else you need from her for you to be, make it clear that regardless of how you feel about it, because I feel like, the Nathan-Elizabeth chemistry was better, at least until the scene in the car. That's not the way they're going. It's just not the way they're going. So either get happy or get over it. I don't know what to tell you. That's just unbelievable.
Yeah. Let's talk about feels. Jax, any feels for you?
Yeah, I, as someone who respects Team Nathan, McGarry's, I hear you guys, I love you guys, but, did come up as Team Lucas when Elizabeth tells Lucas that she doesn't want him to have any secret sorrows. That really tugged at my heartstrings because I think that a lot of times, I know it's very hard for me to open up to people, and she can tell that his heart is heavy and that she's really kind of embarrassed him by not wanting to do the PDA with him.
Yes.
Which was a very small amount of PDA.
Yes.
Barely a handhold. Yes. It wasn't like they were necking in front of everybody.
That's right.
Thank you for saying necking.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Welcome to South Carolina.
I've been visiting enough, so.
I don't know, but I can understand you, have had a very public, widowing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how to best say that.
You said it was funny, and it's not
I don't know how to best say it. It was a very.
You laughed.
It was a long-term relationship.
I saw Public Widowing live, and it was a little more somber than I was hoping for.
You renewed your vows there.
I was hoping for a lot of yucks.
All that to say, I can understand it being tough to hold hands in public, seeing as how public the widowing was.
Yes.
Is all I'm
It
getting.
was a public widowing.
It was a public widowing. I got it feels like why did Ned and Florence just not kiss?
It's
like,
weird.
Their heads are touching hard.
Yes.
It's like they're doing everything with their heads except for connecting lips. It was so weird to me. I was just like, why are they not just...
There's got to be a better way to say that.
There's nothing I can do. It's a public widowing. I don't know. It made me feel uncomfortable when I was watching it. It probably made me you uncomfortable hearing me talk about it. So you're welcome, everybody. Dan?
Yeah, I got real angry feels at Allie when she only invites Elizabeth to the adoption ceremony. I was not happy. This is not a 6-year-old who is like, I want a new mommy. It's not that. She's a teenager, guys. She knows what she's doing. I just couldn't believe that there was a full list of people Nathan had that she was going to invite. Somehow she, behind his back, only invited Elizabeth. That was a mess, and I didn't like a single second of it. But bold move. It was a bold swing by the creators of the show, and I was happy to see that. So, yeah.
I mean, Allie was like, it worked before when I saved the day for my uncle when I came in and said he's a good person.
That's right.
So she's like, I'm going to try again.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll get married.
Yeah.
For the fences.
Yeah, you gotta shoot your shot. Shoot your shot. Let's take one more quick break. We'll come back with the Wait What here on
Take the homework.
Simon says, put your hand on your head.
Just one.
You put 2 hands.
Sorry, I got out
And I
already.
put none, so you win.
Hey! Guys, I'm sorry. We came back to break and we were still playing our game.
It was Simon Says Break,
Simon
which
Says
is
Break.
it's one of my favorite breaks.
You love it. That's why you
Almost
didn't
as good as
participate.
Connect 4 break. Those are
I
too
love
intense,
Connect 4
don't
break.
they? Yeah.
Let's start with the Wait What here on the second side of the break. Jax, do you got any Wait What's?
The second side of the... How many sides are there of the break?
There's 2 sides.
Okay.
One
We're in the
after the
second
first
side.
break, 2 after the second one.
So this is the 4th side.
break.
So there's only a back side of each break?
There's a back side of each
There's not a
break.
front side.
The front side's the
So
segment.
the second side would be the first back side.
Say it one more time.
First back side of the break?
No. When we come back
This is a 4 for 2 situation.
No, when we come back from the hot take, that's the first back side. First side.
The
There's
first
only
side would be
2
the front.
sides.
Okay, you said there were 4 sides.
No. There's 2 sides, 2 fronts, no backs.
No backs. There's a front and a side.
Yes.
And you said the second side.
Second side. There's 2
I
sides.
do see your organization, but your choice of words is real bad.
It kind of makes like a heart.
Okay.
Is
one
th-
called
these
the heart.
th-
I
so
like
this
that
is a
brand.
break. This is and we're on the and then down here are the other parts. So it's a heart. Jax.
I have one big one that you already alluded to. I was freaking livid at Jesse for coming in and talking about how short Clara's skirt should be.
Jesse.
Well, I mean, no, it's despicable. He lost all of her money, their money, but mostly her money, and he's going to tell her that her skirt is
In
too
his
short. Give me a
defense,
break. In his
Jax,
defense.
It was almost to her calf.
It was
and
almost
I
to
don't
her
like,
calf.
What is she trying to
What
show?
is she trying to do? Who is she trying to flounce about town with? I mean, we do see, I think Hickam was giving her the eyes when he was taking the bills out.
I always feel like they always throw something like this in for the readers of the novels. Do you know what I mean?
So right.
Like, this is just a little bit of catnip for those people who are like, yeah, life was better when skirts were down to ankles and women couldn't control money and the man stayed in the house even though he lost everything. That's when life was good. Like, and so they throw it out there every now and then just to make those people at home go, I was going to stop watching this show, but now they still
I'm
get
not.
it. Modesty.
Now I'm not.
So, yeah. Right? That's the only
no,
reason
I think you're exactly right because there's so much in this show that isn't that they just have to keep reeling us in with occasional mentions of that. But golly gee, I was mad about it.
Yeah.
My big Wait What?
So Lucas goes into Christopher's room to accuse him of stealing the watch, and we see one of the saloon rooms. It's not the first time because his mom stayed in one of those rooms, but this is the first time I ever noticed all of the pictures on the wall are clumped together into the center.
Just like a little glob of pictures.
There's just like and then there's nothing on the rest of the wall. So I don't know if it's like the way that the set was built, you could only hang things on the center. Like they wouldn't actually, I don't know what the explanation is, but I just found it so funny. It's just these 4 rando photos smack dab in the middle of the wall, nothing else the rest of the wall. You go okay, Brian? I had one other one that I can't recall right now, and so I'm going to defer to you, Dan, and then I'll see what I can come up with.
I'll take that deference. I don't have much this episode.
That's not how you say it.
I will say that it astounds me. Bill Avery has not been in what we've seen a measurable, successful relationship in his life, but dispenses relationship wisdom to anyone he comes across with reckless abandon. It doesn't matter. He's like, here you go. Do this. How about this? Let him in. Ask him to come back over. Blah, blah, blah. You should do this. Hey, Bill, you're single and you run a cafe in your spare time for being a half detective constable. Stop it.
Well, you know that those who can't do teach.
That's right. Yeah,
He's trying.
Clearly.
And you know I love and respect teachers, you guys.
Yeah. No, of course you do.
It's not me
Yeah, we
saying.
all do here.
Yeah.
Well, it's the troops, too. The troops and the teachers. We would never.
God forbid you're both.
And not one more than the other.
Yeah.
And both. Absolutely both. We love both. We are stands for both.
Not one more than the other?
We don't respect one more than the other. Should we respect
We
one
have a
more
lot of
than
fun
the
here
other?
at Deck the Hallmark, but we do love the troops more than the teachers.
I think you got to say the
And
truth.
the first responders.
Wait, you think I gotta say the truth more than the teachers?
Jax actually loves, she told me personally she loves the troops and teachers more than the first responders. She told me that.
That is what she said.
Straight up off the air. So, like, don't even lie.
Yeah.
What do we consider first responders?
Oh, my gosh. Well, it depends. It depends.
Man, I'm glad we finally found
Essential
somebody
workers.
that would offend the first responders more than me. Because of what I did that one episode of one show that we did somewhere.
Yeah, Jax is kind to everyone, but those first responders
Kick rocks.
working 12, 15-hour shifts during COVID.
You guys remember when we all banged our pots and pans for like a day?
I do.
We didn't do it here in South Carolina, to be clear.
I don't even know what you're talking about right now.
During COVID, it was in the
We
big
clapped
cities.
every day at 7 p.m. and banged pots and
That's
pans.
exactly right. When there was the line change.
Yeah.
That was a thing for how long? A week?
Yeah. Oh, no, we did it for, I think, like 2 months.
Oh, wow.
My wife was treating children throughout that, and throughout it, she got a lot of claps and a lot of thank yous. Not one single raise, if you can believe it.
Oh, I can believe it.
Not one, if you can believe it. Yeah, but she did wear 2 masks, goggles, and a face shield, and got a lot of applause. So
that made up for all of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No one's bitter.
I remember my other one.
Please go for it, because I'm out.
Are you done? Why is it that whenever somebody is sick and they're in the infirmary, everyone goes to Elizabeth? Like, Elizabeth, have you heard?
Saloon.
Have you heard, Elizabeth? Have you heard? And for some reason, Elizabeth is always the one to go into the infirmary and find out. Why? Why is that her thing? Is it because she's a public widower? Like, what was it about? Like, why is she the person that everyone goes to for the scuttlebutt around whether or not people are doing well? Do you know?
I think because she's an executive producer on the show and she wants the good scenes.
They need her to be in some scenes since
More
they're
than
paying
fair.
her as one on the call sheet.
I didn't realize she was an EP. I didn't realize she was EP. That's on me.
Didn't she get that title like 3 or 4 seasons in?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Do you know what she did?
I think about that and man, good to her. Good
for
for
her.
Good to her. Good for her.
Good on her.
I
Good
love
on
the
her.
Aaron
Good,
Craig go all
however,
day long.
in, out, around, whatever you want to say. Good
On
on.
either side.
One or the other. There's only 2.
Sorry.
Let's talk about Hopes and Valleys. Anything sticking out to you, Jax?
My hope is that I'll see my man Bill in that surge.
I get the feeling that that's
As
coming
might be
up.
coming. Well, they were teasing it, showing me Lee wearing it.
I just want to be clear. This is why this show is just reprehensible. This is a 4-episode arc about a jacket.
And I'm in.
And
A
pants.
4-episode arc of
And a hat.
Oh, there's a Mountie suit here. Bill hadn't worn it in a long time. You think we could? How about 4 episodes?
Dan,
Book it.
Dan, that
What is
is belittling what the story is. It's a man who's being forced to turn in his suit.
He's been doing this for 7
it's not just his
seasons.
suit, it's his
being
pride.
forced to turn it in, Dan.
He hasn't
you
worn it
don't
in
know what it's like
decades.
to be an older man and being forced to give up the one thing in your life that ever made you feel proud.
We should ask Panda.
Too soon.
Panda would really like that joke. I want to be
think he
clear.
would. Oh,
He
he
would have
loved that
laughed
joke.
hard.
Yeah.
I guess he's not dead. He can still listen
That's
to this.
right.
We made him retire his Elizabeth costume like a long time ago.
We did. The fact that he had one was on us.
Yeah, that was
to be
on us.
honest. That's maybe not one of our finer
Well,
moments.
it was a funny video, though.
It was a really good video, you guys. Honestly, everyone loved it.
okay.
Valley, is that how are they going to come back from this awful adoption situation?
Yeah, it's not
That's
great.
bad.
And I'm nervous to see how they're going to
It can't get
disentangle it.
worse.
That's what you think.
Oh no!
Challenge.
I got to be honest. My entire valley is that at this point, I just now am in that point where I just feel bad for Team Nathan.
Yeah.
Because like the writing's not on the wall. That wall, the ink is dried. I mean, like this thing is done, and we've got 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 5 episodes left of this.
Good man.
And I get the feeling, knowing the showrunners and what we've
Tinker.
gotten so far, Tink,
Tink's gonna
turn around Tink.
Turn around Tink.
That it's going to become more excruciating before it becomes better for Allie, for Nathan, for all involved, and that stings. My hope is that somewhere over the rainbow, there's an end to this Mountie jacket storyline. There's an
don't
end
we
of
all?
this story.
For different reasons.
There's an end
For
to
different
this.
reasons.
Yeah.
For different reasons. We all have our reasons. We want that to be over. Yeah, I mean, my hope is just that I want to see Ned and Florence just finally kiss. I think they've earned it. And gosh, did they earn it in this episode? So let's just give those give those guys just a good old smacker. I think we're all ready for that.
Give those guys a good old smack.
Yeah. Like, let them do that.
I guess that holds true.
Yeah.
Why not?
We did it, everybody. Congratulations. Another one in the books. Did we get What's Called My Heart?
We sure did.
Are we running
What's
low?
on my heart? We're running a little low. Yeah, a little
Maybe
low.
if people are hearing this, hearing our
Hearing
voices
it live, yeah, that could email us in
Yeah.
as soon as you hear it. Hello at
Immediately.
deckthehallmark.com.
That'd be really great.
This is from Beth Ann Smith.
Oh, we love Beth Ann.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
What's calling my heart is remembering how special I felt when you guys asked me to be the permanent third chair host on Back to Bayside.
You keep saying Beth.
Back to Bayside is a show where Brand and I rewatch Saved by the Bell one episode at a time, and it's a bonus episode only for Bramble Jam Plus. And Beth is the biggest fan of that show.
Sounds amazing.
And she wants to be the third chair, and we have not answered her yes or no on that.
I think the hardest part about this is that we don't have a set time.
We don't
And
ever.
that's on
We
us.
literally, Beth, are sitting around and we're like, "What else do we need to do this week?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, watch a Bayside." And so we watch Saved by the Bell and do it right then and there. And so we can't plan ahead. And
Maybe
that's
if we
on
get like a
us.
TED to donate money, fly her down.
Yeah, fly her down, drive her
Do it.
down. She's close. She's in
Do-
North Carolina.
Well,
She's-
do it
Ted,
all in
wait, Ted has a brother. We can see.
oh, Fred.
Yeah,
That's
Fred.
right.
Yeah.
Fred, do you want me to ask?
Yeah, you're
That
in-
would be good. We can all go like out the 4 of us
That's
together.
right,
It's
that's right.
excruciating with just Ted.
What do you want to ask me?
Dude, I swear,
Fred.
Ted
What?
has been Canadian, Southern, and Eastern European.
It's Fred now.
Oh, it's Fred. My bad. How did we get Fred on the line that quickly? Trace?
Yes?
How did you get Fred on the line that quickly?
I knew his number.
How? Did you guys date?
No, we went to the same. Not. So you guys remember the insurrection? So
Vaguely.
not exactly that, but insurrection adjacent. We met.
I also did see Insurrection Jason.
Oh my gosh, so good.
Oh my gosh.
dude.
Acoustic set with the twin violins.
It almost turned into a riot.
It almost did. It was out of control.
Yeah.
Close.
Yes. What can I help you with?
Anyway, Fred, we were
Yes.
circles into a bit there. Fred, we need somebody to sponsor us to get Beth down here as the third chair
Yes.
of Back to Bayside.
You're gonna have to ask Ted because I don't have any money on my own.
Thank you, Fred, for calling in.
I didn't call.
I'll
Trace
finish
called
reading
me.
Beth's email, which says, recording my first episode with you at Bramblefest was great. And I'm looking forward to the laughs and hijinks that we're going to share. Thanks, Brandon and Dan, for making this girl's dream come true. Until next time, get back to class.
Oh, well
sign-off.
done. Well
Beth
done.
Ann.
Great
Thank
job,
you,
Beth Ann. We
Beth.
How
love
did
you.
you guys forget that you recorded with her?
Yeah, it was.
I got to be honest. It's all a haze.
all a
that's
haze.
Riggs' fault because, the drinks he pours at Fitzy's, they are hefty.
Hefty.
They're strong.
What doesn't he have a drink named after the tank? The tank? Tankini?
Tankini, not the tankini. That's a bathing suit, you dumb.
What's it called? The tank?
It's a tankila.
Tankila.
Yeah,
Tequila.
that's right.
It's
in a 10-pound tank toy.
Mix those two up. We're going to be all done, guys. We're going to be back next week with another one. We'll see how things maybe shake up. Maybe there's more Mountie talk. I don't know. Personally, I don't know. We'll find out. Until then, maybe we're the first to wish you a
Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark is the That Sounds Fun podcast. It's produced by Tracy Noah's name. It's recorded live in Greenville, South Carolina. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com.